Good morning and welcome to Ahead of the Curve. This series is brought to you by Venture Taranaki in partnership with the Regional Business Partners Network. Today's topic is covering Go Local campaign, what the Go Local campaign is and how your business can take advantage of the campaign. Today's panelists are Briley Fluity, Acting Comms and Marketing Manager at VT, Petra Finner, Communications at BizLink Hawera, Gemma Gibson, Communications Manager at Stratford District Council. So a couple of things I just want to alert you to, for those of you that haven't used Zoom before. Top right hand corner you'll have something that says speaker view. You can toggle between speaker view and gallery view. This will give you the chance and the opportunity to see either the person that's speaking or all of our panelists on today. Across the bottom you'll notice a couple of things. The first thing I want to alert you to is the chat box. If you can open the chat box and just put in your name and where you're from, so at least we then know who's on today's webinar. And also, probably most importantly, is that you'll also see something that says Q&A. If you can open the Q&A box, if you click on that, what will happen is it will pop up and create an extra box. This is your opportunity to ask the panelists questions, thoughts, comments that you have through today's webinar. And after we've done the presentation piece, I'll be then facilitating the conversations to go through and find out more about the Go Local campaign. I'll also put up a couple of polls. These will pop up to start with on your screen and then give you the opportunity to kind of work through from there. So without further ado, could I introduce you across to Briley? Briley, over to you for the first presentation. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Adam. Kia ora koutou, welcome along to our webinar on the Go Local campaign. I'll just start by sharing my screen with you all. Cool. And I'll pop that. Cool. So, as everyone probably knows already, we have gone to market with our Go Local, Go Taranaki campaign in direct response to the effects of the recent COVID-19 pandemic. So the purpose of this campaign was to ignite our regional recovery, to encourage conscious local spending throughout our region, and to support our Taranaki enterprises, our employment levels, and our Taranaki people in their long-term well-being. The campaign is running in market currently, and we took a three-pronged approach to the campaign, which started by working with key partners and stakeholders, so the likes of BizLink Hawera, South Taranaki District Council, Stratford District Council, iwi, NPDC, some of which are on the call and we'll be talking later. And then we broke it down into three parts. So part one was the educational layer. We recognised the need to educate our people around what it means to go local and why going local is so important and critical to our regional recovery. I think in terms of thinking about it from a consumer kind of perspective, we're all quite selfish. And we like to have, convenient shopping experiences. So it was about breaking down some of those behaviours and giving people tangible outcomes and reasons as to why they should be shopping locally. Part two that's the big out-of-home presence. That's the integrated campaign. You would have been seeing the logo around the region across various channels, and I'll talk about those some more soon. And then part three was all about activating our businesses and our spenders, and most of that has been done and is continuing to be done across social media, so encouraging high engagement and conversation around what it is to go local. Cool. So just that was obviously the logo, and then we've broken it down into the sub districts, so making sure that each district has their own logo that they can communicate with, and then beyond that we've hyper-localized that to some smaller towns, so that the individual communities can get behind the campaign. And although you will see the Taranaki logo across all of our assets, the idea is that we want to facilitate those communities to get behind the campaign and use their own logos in fun and creative ways. So I'm going to breeze through what we've got in market, because the value really is in how you can activate it yourselves. So talking about the education piece, we really drove this from the media desk and through radio with some spots with our local business leaders. You may have heard them running. We've been consistently weaving through the Go Local message on webinar and encouraging clear, consistent communication across all of those partners, that we've been working with. Awareness. So this is the big out-of-home presence. This is an example of the decals on storefronts that are now available through the majority of our business associations, and we can put that through on when we send the recording through. We'll follow up with where you can get those from as well, so you have that directly. And then an example of the stencil, which is also available, so you can spray chalk outside your storefront, or however you want to activate that. Press, we've had lots of press going out over the past few weeks, and we've got more to come. So all of the big publications, as well as the community news publications as well. Digital, a huge digital presence by way of medium rectangles, so across runner site for your two main kind of channels, so Stuff and NZME. You've probably seen them. And then we have also taken it one step further with a Stuff homepage takeover, which has been run on the Taranaki Daily News, so really visual. You can't miss it. The idea here is that we create huge awareness throughout our community. We get people thinking about going local, and they can click through from all these assets, off of all of these assets and channels to our webpage, where they can download those assets directly as part of our business toolkit. You probably have seen one, but if not, I'm sure you will. One of our many billboards that we've got scattered throughout the region, including an example in the bottom right corner there of one in Eltham. So a mixture of static billboards as well as digital, which will continue to run through to the start of August. So some really good reach over the coming months and exposure. We've also utilised our owned channels, which is something that I'll talk about in a few slides some more, in a way that you will be able to get behind this campaign, is thinking about the assets or the channels, sorry, that you have available to you as a business. So do you have a Facebook page? Can you update your cover photo like you see here, or LinkedIn? We're also going to decal our cars. That's another option for people. But beyond that, we've done our website. Our email footers is a really easy one too. Cool, we're coming up to the crux of the campaign in step 3, so activate. This is where we start to see some of our initiatives come to life, and we get a chance for two-way communication with our communities. So we've driven this heavily across social media, and the aim is to inspire and engage our local audience. So giving people tangible examples of local heroes within the community, and we're running a competition until the end of the next month, June, whereby people will be able to nominate their Go Local heroes. So that's just one initiative. Then every day we do a 5 at 5. So we are using our channels as a vehicle for local business promotion, and there's opportunity for businesses to tag us on social to be featured. And it's been running really effectively, and I've got some examples coming up of how others are getting behind that. And it would be a really good idea if you had social and a good opportunity for everyone to think about some of these initiatives that we're running on our site or our social channels, whether they would translate well to yours, because essentially they're already there. There's awareness in the community about them, and it's sort of low-hanging fruit in terms of how you can build on the campaign and start to leverage some of the messaging that we're already going out with. And then on-site activation beyond social media, so the window decals and the on-street chalk stencils. And then just to draw your attention to some of the images on screen. So the grid is actually a food producers grid that we did. We're obviously a huge food producing region. So getting people to think differently about what going local means. It's not just, maybe traditional retail. It's also in the supermarkets you can pick produce that will support local businesses. And then a great one from McCallum and Dallas, who were featured on 7 Sharp. And that sort of is an extension on the local heroes piece, but we want to showcase the people and the behaviours that embody going local. If you haven't watched it, I'd highly recommend you jump onto our social media, our Facebook page, and have a watch. It's pretty cool. So our stories template was the next one, and this has been very effective. The idea here is to build some social momentum and virality, encouraging our audience to take hold of the reins. So they get the opportunity to tag their favourite local coffee places or their favourite places for brunch or takeaways, or where they like to indulge themselves, and then tag 3 friends. So again, another great one to encourage just a really big reach and to spread that message in a really authentic way. And we will be looking at bringing out another template that is a variation of what we've got here, as well, as it's been really successful. And this is an example of Tony Street, who has shared it as well as some other influencers, which has been really beneficial for our overall reach. And then the 5 at 5 that I was talking about. So we've got the Giphy available. We're always featuring local businesses every day, so make sure to tag us. I'll zip through. Oh, there's the Giphy playing. And then how can you get involved? So this is, I think, what everyone wants to know. So we've made, if you haven't already jumped onto our site, I think someone's going to be popping the link in the chat soon, but I would encourage you to visit our site and take a look at the assets that we have created, and to think about how you might be able to use those across your own channels. So we've got social media assets available, so posts, we've got stories available, that template is available for you to use and make the most of. We've got that Giphy. So for those of you that know what a Giphy is, you can search that on Instagram and Facebook, and I encourage you to just add it to your stories if you're posting anyway, just to create general awareness and to signify that you're a local business, because ultimately, if you tether yourself to this campaign, it will help. It will help you to connect with your audience and fall under the wider Go Local message that we're promoting anyway, which would be a positive thing. The posters they're available to print, so there's PDFs there for everyone to use, and then just some examples of people already making it their own. So I guess we have developed these assets in partnership with our key stakeholders, but really this is not just our campaign, it's everyone's campaign, and it's only going to be successful if we all get behind it and support it. So some examples of local businesses that have already been posting, including the logo in there, whether it's their cover photo. A great example by Churchwood Bridal, who actually beat us to even creating a decal for their storefront window. They, so some great initiatives that are happening, and some great lateral thinking as to how that everyone can connect in. And I guess I would say at this point, don't feel like you need our permission. It's been amazing seeing people, connecting with people and businesses asking if you can use the logo on your footer. Absolutely, use it. Do what you want with it. The message is that the more people use it, the more businesses and enterprises use it, the more successful this campaign will be. So we don't want to stop that by any way, shape or form. Another example of a variation of the logo. So again, Top Stitch have applied it to a t-shirt, which is awesome to see, and just some initiative. They've changed the wording a little bit. That's fine, but the intent is, the purpose is to get people shopping and spending locally, which is awesome. And it's my understanding that $5 from every t-shirt purchase is going back to the Taranaki retreat. So Taranaki retreat obviously focusing on wellness and mental health, so a great cause at this point in time. And then where to from here, I think I've kind of talked about it or touched on it before, but wherever you want to go, I'm encouraging people to really start to brainstorm opportunities and connections with the campaign as you see it. How can you take the assets and leverage off the Go Local message? I think being able to utilize your existing channels is obviously a really quick win. And then connecting with our local business association or your local business associations to, grab a stencil, get a decal. There's a few decals, like you might even want to grab a couple depending on how big your window is or whatever your storefront's like. And then to think about other ways to extend that. So I'm not going to steal all the ideas, because I know Gemma and Petra have some really cool things they want to talk to you about, but do utilize those existing channels. Think about fun ways that you can hyper-localize to your business. Are there people within your business that you want to showcase? Kind of open the curtain a little bit and play on that human element of what it is to truly be a local business in Taranaki. It's really up to you. And I mean, we're always here to talk through. If you want to run anything by us, by all means, do reach out and be happy to give you a steer. Yeah, and I guess the last thing in going through this process is how important the supply chain is, and we have been proactively making choices across this campaign to support local in our promotion, and where we can. It is hard in some instances, but even down to the fact we're not doing any paid Facebook or social advertising. It's just that's a conscious choice on our behalf to ensure that we can spend as much as we can in region. Cool. So that's the end of my piece, and I saw there's lots of questions going on, so I'll jump back into the box and have a look, but I'll hand over to Petra for now. Thanks, Petra.
Cool. Morena koutou, everyone. I will just put my share screen on. We are, sorry, I'll just go back. We are really delighted to have the opportunity to come in and have a chat today. For us, the Go Local, Go Taranaki campaign is really fantastic. For smaller towns, conscious consumerism is key. So what we're doing is we're trying to re-educate our youth, re-educate our locals to think hāwera first, because you know, a lot of our retailers rely largely on in-store trade, but we have to recognise that today's consumer has quite literally the online world at their fingertips. They can order from anywhere. They can get what they want from anywhere. So what we're suggesting is, you know, great, get what it is you want, what it is you need, but go local first to get it. See if you can get it in Hāwera first. If you can't get it in Hāwera, stretch out a little bit wider. Can you get it in the neighbouring towns? Can you get it in Stratford? If you can't get it there, stretch out a little bit wider. Go full Taranaki. And if you can't get it there, then look at the domestic market. Is it available within New Zealand? And then reach out to the online world to get what it is you want. You know, if you look in your own backyard first, then you'll still get what you want, but you'll be growing your local economy as well. You know, if we can retrain our thinking to think locally first, then we're benefiting our neighbours, we're benefiting, you know, the people we're friends with, we're keeping people in jobs, we're also keeping our local economy growing and our local marketplace growing, because, you know, if the more the demand there is for something, the more a retailer is going to stock it. So if you let a retailer locally know that there's a market out there, they'll get it in, and you'll be able to get more locally and faster than you can get it online. So for BizLink, we've got we were building our own shop local campaign before we connected in with Venture Taranaki's campaign. So we restructured slightly to ensure that we were delivering the best for our retailers and giving consistent messaging. So Venture Taranaki have done the really hard, really expensive work for us. You know, they've supplied the billboards, the digital assets, the print and radio advertising, the social templates, the sidewalk templates. We've got a sidewalk template in at our office. So we've really built our campaign alongside it, to sit alongside it and to work in with it. So we're doing a 6-week scratch and win campaign with over $12,000 worth of prizes to be spent at local businesses only. We're encouraging our local businesses to add to the prize pool at the moment, which can build their customer base, because they'll get people coming in who haven't come in before simply because they've got a scratch and win for that business, and why not use it? And then, you know, that's a potential new customer you didn't have before. We've got Go Local flags on order, so we'll be putting those up through the town, and they'll become a thing that can be used regularly and over again to continue and further that Go Local message. We have the footpath stencils, and in fact they are out being sprayed on the sidewalk with sidewalk chalk today. So they should be popping up around town today, and then we're going to share our stencil with the other towns. We did have a question related to the sidewalk stencil in Hāwera, and if you just let us know, we can pop by and pop it on your business for you. We've got the local posters being made that continue that Go Local branding and that messaging, but have some more Hāwera based imagery on them. We'll be putting out to our database. We've been utilising the Go Local assets on our social media for our social media audience. and encouraging businesses to utilise the local social media assets as well to reach their audiences, just stretching it out as wide as we can. We've put the social stories template out for use. We are in the process of distributing the Go Local branding to businesses for their use, so the window decals, posters if they want them. One of the next things we're rolling out, as well as the Scratch and Win campaign, is we're going to be developing short videos with local retailers highlighting their positive experiences with Go Local and the Go Local attitude. We've heard some really fantastic stories about, you know, some of our hardest hit businesses are the hospitality businesses who couldn't function, or the, you know, your hairdressers, your beauty therapy that couldn't function during, you know, your higher alert levels. And there are some really heartwarming stories out there about, you know, people who've paid for a coffee but then made a coffee at home. So they didn't use any of the business resources, but they put a little bit into the business. Or people paying for their hair appointments or beauty appointments, even though they were cancelled, but they wanted to share for that, you know, a little bit back into that business so that they can keep going. So we really want to get those messages out and share them, because we think those are really wonderful local examples of showing support for your neighbour. So the other thing that we're currently examining is the idea of a Go Local shopping night or midwinter festival, sort of towards the end of the campaign, just to give a different experience and a little bit of a within guidelines shopping night that, you know, we can really celebrate how far we've come and the fact that we've got through it and are rebuilding together, because that's needed for a lot of people right now, that positivity, really. And yeah, we're just going to keep pushing, I think, keep pushing that message and keep supporting as we can, where we can, and look at where our businesses are requesting that we pop in and support them. So that's us. I believe, Gemma, I'm throwing over to you now.
Kia ora, Petra. Hi everyone. I'll just share my screen as well. I've just got a few slides to showcase. Everyone can see that hopefully. So as Adam mentioned earlier, I'm the Communications Manager at Stratford District Council, and as part of the Go Local campaign, I've worked really closely with my colleague Amy, who handles administration and support with the Stratford Business Association. So together we've sort of put our heads together and come up with ways in which we can make this you know, Stratford orientated and really help push out all the great assets that Venture Taranaki have shared with us. So really grateful that they've kickstarted this regional campaign to share a bit of consistency and show some uniting together across Taranaki. So it's really cool. So thank you, Riley and team, for this. From a council perspective, we've used a lot of our existing channels to help push that out there. So if you read the Stratford Press, you might see it mentioned in our central link and across our social and other things. But what we're probably almost most proud of is some of the out-of-home stuff that we've been able to do. So if you're driving through Broadway at the moment, you'll see our Go Local, Go Stratford and Go Local Taranaki flags on show. We do love a flag in Stratford, so we'll jump on any opportunity involved there. So we're really proud to get these up quite quickly, and I've had a few comments just even from friends going through saying they look great. So obviously on a beautiful bright blue sky day they do. So we've got those. We do have some little billboards in our Prospero Place. So if you don't know Stratford, that's in the middle of town. They are going up today, so apologies I don't have a photo for those yet, but we are using other channels like the digital notice board as you come in from the northern entrance to Stratford. We've got some hoarding. If I just go over, you sort of see a picture there with some newly laid grass and some hoarding. We're going to be having some billboards up there. I've got one behind me that the Venture Taranaki team have kindly printed, and we'll be getting some more localised Stratford district ones as well for that area. So you might see maybe 3 across there and 3 across the Broadway hoarding as well, just around that development in the middle of town. You'll see we've already had a play with our chalk paint. It's been very exciting. We've got an array of footpaths in Stratford, so we can confirm that they look great across any type of footpath there. So that's cool, and we do have that here at Council should any of the businesses locally want to use it or want us to do some near their business, do get in touch. So that's it probably for out of home. Social, we've got a few pages. Council has a Facebook page and Instagram under Stratford_NZ, and the Heart of Taranaki is the Stratford Business Association pages. So what we've been doing is we've been trying to share all of the great stuff Venture Taranaki are doing. We're really encouraging businesses to tag us if possible and things, share with us what they're doing so we can share it on our channels. One of the most important things for our district is just having that local imagery and just having a more central Taranaki Stratford feel to it. So you'll see we've created some of our own assets with the help of the Venture Taranaki design team, sharing the templates to showcase local people and local businesses, and we'll do our best to add to those over the coming weeks as well. So you'll see a lot of that. I'll just go next. Sorry team, it's just freezing on me a little bit. So across our stories, Heart of Taranaki is sharing all the great Ahead of the Curve webinars that are happening, and you'll see a lot of chatter on the Stratford_NZ Instagram as well. So if you are in Stratford or anywhere actually in Taranaki and you don't already follow Heart of Taranaki and the Stratford_NZ on Instagram, please do engage with us. We'll share. That's just what the campaign's all about, is sharing and caring. So the opportunity. So here in Stratford, obviously, like Petra touched on, it's really important to spend local, to support local, and we are always pushing that. And now more than ever, we need to get on board and support our colleagues around town and friends and business partners. So what we're really keen to hear is, from local businesses, what do you have on offer, and what can you get in the Stratford district? Encouraging that if you can get it in Stratford, then buy it in Stratford, spend that money in Stratford. If not, like Petra talked about, go to the town over, go locally in Taranaki as a region and try and keep that money at home. So over Facebook and stuff, you might see us asking or sharing some of the things that you can buy in Stratford, just to help that I guess thinking, oh, I didn't know you could get that there, now I will. And we're encouraging our local businesses to jump on that as well and to do that. So Amy, she shares all that information with the Stratford Business Association through email newsletters and direct comms with them. For anyone that isn't within the association, do get in touch with her still. She works across council as well, and with myself, and we're here to help. So if you need any support with just applying the brand, Go Local, Go Stratford, you're not sure what to do, or you need a little bit of help about creating some digital assets for your social media, get in touch and maybe we can help out. In the pipeline for Stratford Association, they do, as much as we love flags, we love our window competitions as well. So you will see a window competition coming up in the near future with the Go Local theme, and they've got a bunch of SBA vouchers to give away. So every Friday on the Heart of Taranaki Facebook page, they'll be giving those away, about $150 a week, I think it works out to be. So do jump over there, share the love. It'll be competitions such as, tag a business that you want to support, or tag a friend that you want to take up for dinner locally, things like that. So really easy. competition to enter for local people, and it's all about sharing those businesses and enterprises that we can all support locally. But most of all, just talk to us. If you've got an idea or you're not sure, or you think that we've missed the boat and there's something out there that we should be doing to really push these messages, do get in touch, because we'd love to hear about it. So either myself at council or Amy, you'll find our details. I can share them at the end of the webinar actually. So yeah, so that's about it for us in Stratford.
Fantastic. Thank you, Gemma. If I could ask all of the panelists to just put your contact details in the chat box, that'll just give then people to go through. Briley, I know that you've been quite busy in answering some questions. Can you just unmute yourself and just give an indication of some of the things that you've been covering, and then I'll ask you some of the questions that I've got.
Okay, sure. What have I answered? Right. Where can we've done that. Okay. So, how can we share? So I had a question come through around, we're doing a lot of good local stuff in the community. So how can you share that with us? We'll put our contact details in the chat box, like Adam said, but another great way, especially thinking about just cutting through kind of another chat, like, removing another channel rather than going through email, is just to send it through to our Facebook page. So that's the Venture Taranaki Facebook page. And that way, if you're feeding us information and, that's a benefit to us, we can put that out there straight out on our channel and hero and showcase what you guys are doing. So please remember to just fire anything through. It's my colleague Diane runs that page, and she's pretty responsive. So just send through anything you have. The next one was how can sort of a few questions around the stencil and the stickers or the decals. We will follow up. You can get them from first of all from Petra and the team at BizLink, as well as Stratford District Council, but we'll follow up at the end of the webinar when we send you the recording as to the specific providers around the region where you can get those from. But everyone sort of has a little base in their area and community, so hopefully it shouldn't be too difficult. There was a question around Venture Taranaki and local spending, or an indication as to local spending, which I provided a link for on our website. And things are tracking pretty good. So in terms of the latest results we have, it shows that spending is down only 2.9% in comparison to this time last year. So it's pretty encouraging, really, given that the national average is 11.2% behind, behind where they were at this point last year. So in terms of how we're tracking, it's pretty positive and encouraging at this point. This campaign will continue to support that. And we do get those statistics on a regular basis. So just keep an eye on our website where we will publish those. Spray chalk, Mitre 10 or Bunnings. I'm pretty sure Ainsley got it from Mitre 10. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, so a couple of other ones that have come through. I know that we've also got Vicky Fairley on as well, GM from a destination from VTT as well. Morning. If I come to you first, Briley, and then if you want to just signpost through to anybody else, how long will this campaign go for?
Yeah, so at the moment our activity is running through to August. So we've got planned activity through to August. I mean, I'm thinking it will live much longer than that organically, as it starts to permeate through the community and businesses get behind it. So in terms of our planned activation, August, however, we'll still be continuing to promote and weave those messages in across other, non-paid kind of channels, whether it's webinar, Justine's doing a speech, that sort of thing, and on social media. Vicky, does that kind of answer that one, do you think?
Yes, I think so. I think what we'll be doing is tracking the statistics on spending and ensuring that we actually encourage the Buy Local, Go Local campaign in line with how those statistics are actually going. So we'll determine that as we go forward.
Fantastic. Next question. What initiatives are Venture Taranaki doing to encourage visitors to the region?
Right, I can probably answer that one as well. There's two sort of strands that are happening at the moment with visitation. One is Tourism New Zealand actually, and I'm going to use a much overused word here, pivoting towards the domestic market. So they have appointed a general manager, domestic tourism, and they are currently coming out with a range of initiatives to stimulate visitors to actually get moving and go around New Zealand. Now, most of that activity will take place once we get to Alert Level 1, but they've already started doing some initiatives on Alert Level 2. So our first initiative is to actually leverage off those initiatives, and we'll be doing that over the next 2 weeks. And they involve New Zealand Herald and their travel magazines, and they're concentrating on 4 themes, 3 of which we'll be taking promotion in and advertising in. And those themes are backcountry adventures, family adventures, and food and drink. The last one's luxury, which we don't quite meet that market. So we'll be producing profile to put and content to put in those areas. We're also trying to they're doing a number of articles on stuff which they're trying to retain editorial independence. So we're pitching ideas to actually be present in those articles. So that's over the next 2 weeks. Concurrently to that, and I have to say that our first priority was to get the Go Local campaign up and running. So concurrently to leveraging off the Tourism New Zealand initiative, we're also developing a full domestic visitor campaign, and that will be developed within the next fortnight, and we'll be looking at rolling that out starting in June and rolling that out going into the Christmas season around December. Now that will involve careful targeting and developing market segments to target into, and also leveraging off the events that are starting to happen already in terms of when our garden festivals and everything actually start to happen in October. And there's a lot of extra activity that is combining around those 2 months as well, leading into the Christmas period.
Fantastic. Thank you, Vicky. Just a couple more questions. What I'd like to do is, because this is the Go Local campaign, can you just put in the chat box, what is the local business that you've been supporting the most and why? Just be really good to get some comments within the chat box. Is the Go Local badge something we should be using in our marketing, Briley?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I don't really have another answer apart from it makes sense. If you're a local business, I would definitely encourage you to leverage off the messaging and the creative that, you know, we're rolling out as part of their campaign. You know, a lot of the work is being done for you. You saw all the placements that we have, the education piece around shopping local, even just signifying that you are a local business by using the window decal or putting something in your footer will be of benefit. People are becoming far more conscious with their spending, and I've heard lots of examples whereby people are, you know, stopping and thinking and going, can I get that locally? Do I need to shop online for that out of region? So absolutely.
Riley, what do you class as a local business?
Yeah, it's a good one. So because of the purpose, if we go back to the purpose of the campaign, which is to encourage and support local businesses, obviously, and employment. So when we think of a local business, it isn't just the little corner store. It can encompass the bigger retailers as well, the national retailers that, you know, have play a massive contribution in terms of our employment levels. So yeah, it's not one or the other, it's the whole. You know, we're not saying just support the corner stores, it's thinking about the bigger picture and making sure we have people in meaningful employment, whether that be in a smaller shop or a national franchise.
Fantastic. Couple, literally, I want to squeeze the last couple in. As a trades business, do you have any ideas how I can use the Go Local campaign?
I would say definitely you can utilize it if you have, it's hard, it's without knowing all the channels that you have available to you. But if you don't have social media, definitely get on social media. You know, start to use some of those assets, use the logo, use the Giphy, take photos while you're on site within health and safety bounds, because I'm not familiar with that, so don't do anything dangerous. But you know, I would start to showcase your work and marry that to the campaign and leverage off those key messages. People are wanting to support local, so I would definitely encourage you to utilize some of those assets as your first point of call.
And just last question, picking up on those assets, I know that there's stuff that where people can download, and we've put the link in the chat box. With regards to the physical aspects of posters within shops, etc., is there anywhere where people can go and pick them up, or are you signposting them through to a local business that can print them on their behalf?
Yeah, well, at the minute, we're encouraging people to, you know, to just print them if you want them. If there is an overwhelming need, or, you know, if people do want them printed, we can look at that as an option as well. But they are sort of a bit of a DIY print, you know, short run kind of thing at the moment for businesses to pick up that need them. People use all the assets in different ways. So just thinking about our commitment to minimizing waste as well. We wanted to give everyone the option to print those themselves, but do get in touch if you would like us to print some.
Fantastic. Vicky, Briley, Gemma, Petra, thank you very much. What a fantastic campaign to encourage people locally to buy local and support local businesses. The next instalment in this series will be on Tuesday, same time as always. And the speaker will actually be myself, and I'm going to be speaking on ideas to move forward faster. So taking a leadership and a management standpoint, looking at it from a remote perspective and how to lead and manage remote teams, and then also some ideas as what you can do with your team. Thank you very much for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you all soon. Thank you.